Hey y'all, here I am back with a whole nother video, and I want to tap on the topic of how do you choose to show up? You know that some people only want the fluffy part of a message. They want to hear how God is about to deliver them, how God is about to bless them. They want to hear that everything is going to be okay, sermon. Some of them want the testimony, but not the test. But what about the struggle? What about the lion's den? What about the fiery furnace? What about the belly of the whale? What about the pit, the prison, the pressure, the isolation, the redirection? Because that's where most of life is actually lived. The real question isn't, do you believe God can? The real question is, how do you choose to show up when you can't see your way out? How do you show up when all hell breaks loose? How do you show up when healing feels out of reach? How do you show up when it feels like your prayers is doing nothing but hitting the ceiling? How do you show up when it feels like God has gone silent? Because that is where faith is proven. Anyone can say they have faith when the sun is shining. But faith, it is not proven in comfort. It is proven in pressure. You see, the Bible never promised us a life without suffering. In fact, God made it very clear in John 16:33, and it says, "In this world you will have tribulation." But he says, "But be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." And so that means that trials are not evidence that God has left you. That means trials are not evidence that God has left you. Trials are evidence that you are in a world that's under attack. Daniel had to go into the lion's den before God shut the lion's mouth. The Hebrew boys, they had to go into the fiery furnace before God showed up as the fourth man in the flames. Jonah had to sit in the belly of a fish before redirection came. Joseph had to go through betrayal, slavery, and prison before the palace. And so therefore, deliverance does not cancel the process. The process, it produces the power. And so how do you choose to show up in those moments? I'll tell you, you show up even when you don't feel strong. You show up even when you're tired of praying. You show up even when your heart is broken. You show up even when your mind is filled with doubt. Because showing up is faith. Showing up is saying this: God, I trust you even when I don't understand this. And sometimes faith isn't loud. Sometimes it's just still standing. Sometimes it's just getting up. Sometimes it's just whispering, "Help me, Lord." I say that a lot in my life. When all you have left, help me, Lord. Hallelujah. Because there are seasons when God seems silent. But silence is not absence. Hidden does not mean gone. And delay does not mean denial. I'm here to tell you, you don't discover who you are when everything is easy. You discover who you are when the pressure turns up. And that's where the real you shows up. That's where real faith is revealed. That's where God does his deepest work. So let me ask you the real question. How will you choose to show up? Will you show up bitter? Will you show up broken? Will you show up blaming? Or will you show up believing even when it doesn't make sense? Because the road that feels like it's breaking you might actually be building you. The season that feels like loss might actually be preparation. And the place that you thought will destroy you might be the place where God meets you in power. And so, in the life trials and tribulations that we may go through, we have to count it all joy, because we do. We have to know where our help comes from. And God, He's not going to abandon us. He will never leave us nor forsake us. He will not bring us to a certain place and just drop us off and walk away from us. I'm here to tell you that today. So do not let the enemy use your mind as a dumpster of bull, as a dumpster of his lies. Despite it all, we have to hold on and hold out. Because when we go through those things, that's where the rubber really meets the road. That's where we really truly find out who we are. That's where we really find out how great our faith is when we going through all the ups and downs and going through the turbulence and going through, the things that we feel like we think we would, or there's just no way out. That's where we discover who we are and what we're truly made of. It's when we go through those life challenges. But we got to hold on and hold out. We have to really utilize the faith that we have. We have to work it till we can't work it no more. Because one thing we know for certain and for sure, that we serve a God. If you are serving Him, the one and truly one God, that He will bring us out. If He bring us to a thing, I want you to understand that He will bring us through a thing. So I want you to keep that into the forefront of your mind, and knowing that God, hallelujah, He will bring you through. It may not look like you want it to look. It may not even feel the way that you want it to feel, but know that when God gives, He gives His very best. He does not give less than His best. So I want you to take that with you today. Be encouraged and be uplifted. And know that God, He truly loves you. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing that you can do about it. And so until the next time, this is a bye for now.